we make this promotion. Funny days, tell me your names and like where you feel you are energetically. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a business coach. I'm not like a wizard investor. When I say that we're getting rid of your money blocks, we're doing this on an energetic space. Okay. So tell me where you kind of live.
I'm Keisha, by the way. I live in Brooklyn Park. Energetically, I've been keeping it at that.
Okay.
But mostly high vibration.
Okay. Got it. So are we talking like meditate every day, follow like intuitive
Well, I just
people on Instagram, that type of thing?
every day, but I kind of took a break from it. But yeah, now I'm back to it.
Okay, got it.
Hi, I'm Sherry, and let's see, energetically, most of the time, like I was telling her earlier, probably like floating around in the clouds.
Okay, a star tennis player.
Yeah, and so like when it comes to money, it's like really there's such a thing, like people have that.
Okay.
Okay, so that tells you where I have.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Do I manage to keep, it under control? Yes,
Okay.
but I still have that kind of flightiness. I'm a Reiki master teacher, so I do Reiki every single day.
Okay.
Meditating, I wish I would do that every day. A yoga practice, I've done yoga for like 20 years, and I think that spiritually does so much to you. I mean, it alters and changes the way you think, and it helps me a lot with that little flighty fairy thing that, like one of my past lives, it was so cool that Corinne had discovered. And I've always been I have the Doreen Virtue, sorry, I'm babbling. Doreen Virtue's fairyologist.
Yeah.
I took that right away when she first had that. I'm so mad that she took all of it down. But that's okay with AI and generated the whole course myself. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am. So you can tell that flighty.
Got it.
You can probably bring me down to grounding, and my husband would appreciate that too.
Gotcha.
My name's David Robinson. My energy, I guess, I do a little meditation, but
Okay.
and we do keep pretty busy, so don't have a lot of time to.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm Michelle. I'm an intuitive, so I work with my intuitive things all the time.
Perfect.
Energetically, I feel generally very good about myself until it comes to financial things.
Okay.
And that's because I'm sure some of it has to do with like the money doesn't grow on trees, and you have to really, all those old messages. I mean, I believe there's bigger and better and more, but I haven't yet figured out how to be there. And I say I'm okay, but I get by, and we get by well. I think decently. But I'd like to do better. I'd like to have more flow.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we have to make too many choices sometimes.
Fair, yeah.
Hi, my name's Heather. I'm from the St. Cloud area. I live in Rice. Energetically, I have no idea. So I'm not one to meditate. I usually crochet to like calm down and like end my day. I think that is part of meditation sometimes. Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's so credit to
Yes, thank you. Energetically, when it comes to money, my mind wants to think that I have an endless amount, but I don't. So got to be more careful.
Okay.
I'm Jessie, and I live here.
Literally in a building. I know, where I completely, but obviously energetically, I live here. Can't be too bad.
I'm Eric, I'm White early. Energetically, I guess we get by, make things happen, but we look for looking for extra better streams.
What everybody else has, one.
Fair. Fair.
I'm JFK.
Energetically, financially energetically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generationally.
What's my thing? Oh, okay. Okay. Love it. Keep it in the family. Okay. All right. So my name is Abigail. I'm a medical intuitive and nurse by trade. I work in the healing of all things. So when I was asked in my last group to do like money blocks, I'm like, yeah, that's a form of healing. We can do that. I do that on myself regularly, and do very well. And so it's a beautiful it's a beautiful form of healing that I would say. However, the first time I've done it in a group, usually I do it on an individual level. So this is exciting. I'm so excited. So the way that I go about this is I attack this the same way that I attack love, the same way I attack health. And really, when we're looking at this, we're looking at the root chakra because that is going to be our foundation for everything. But there is actually a top down, which will probably surprise many of you, of how I go about bringing in money into my world. And so I'd like to teach that to you. So we're going to do that. And two, then we're going to actually get to some, we're going to get to maybe the root, maybe not the root, but close to the root for each of you of where your money blocks are so that we can then do a collective meditation and help you to start to remove those. Now, do I promise that you're going to walk out of here and you'll be able to go into your bank account and go, oh, $10,000? Look at that. Oh, but what I can promise you though is that if you take the lessons and the pillars that I'm teaching here today and you put them in practice into your world, they do work. And sometimes, as I can attest, it can be as fast as $10,000 into your bank account. You just have to have some things in place in order to do that, and we're going to talk about that too. So the other thing that I am really a stickler on is that nothing is ever just energetic. It's never just physical. When we're talking about money, we're talking about both, right? We're talking about the energy of money, right? This very neutral energy that comes and it goes, and it actually doesn't care who each one of you are. It doesn't care about what you've done. It doesn't care about what you do in life. It truly is just flowing to whoever it feels a match to. But we're also talking about physical dollar bills. Even if you're investing in crypto or investing in your like very liquid, it's still a very physical, tangible thing. And so we need to have very physical, tangible ways in which to bring that in. Welcome, Miss Melody. No, come on in. Grab a chair. Okay. Grab a chair. Okay. Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine. This is Melody, everybody. She's also an intuitive, but she works her gift in music. Why don't you fill us in though on where you feel you are energetically when it comes to money? Everybody else did. So
I could do some. Hey, you know, every time you say that.
right. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is those physical things, because I feel like physical always is going to be the thing that is a lot easier for people to process. Okay, why? Because we're physical beings, right? We are energetic, soulful beings in a very physical shell. And yet, for whatever reason, it is still very, very easy for us to say, I want to lose weight, let me go to the gym. I want to lose weight, let me get into my kitchen and make better choices. That's really easy. But dealing with your self-disgust, dealing with your shame, dealing with the traumas that make you emotionally eat, that's really hard. It's really hard to have to look at that stuff. Money is exactly the same way. It's really easy to figure out where you can have a fund, a stream of income that you can have in place, right? So that money has a way to get to you, because that's the thing. Most of us, and we're going to do an exercise here in just a second, when we see money just kind of pop up out of nowhere, we have a certain thought process around it, and it's usually not. It's usually not that. But that's kind of where we have to get to if you want money to just start falling from the sky and appearing and making money that way. If you can't get there, then you need a physical, tangible way for money to come to you, aka a job. Okay, that could be one. A rich uncle, right? That you may inherit something from someday, or a rich auntie, right? Investment property or some forms of investment, something that will allow money to flow to you. So sometimes for the rich and famous, right, that investment is actually more money, right? They put money into more money, and that money works for them, and that brings in more for them, right? It may be something also that you create, something that you can make, that you can sell, right? A project, a hobby, right? That crocheting, knitting, that might actually work for you. Right? We'll have to see, right? And it may be one of the most like ridiculous things that you never even thought of. One of the most ridiculous ways that somebody made money that I saw recently was some child, I mean, it's like probably 25, taking a huge canvas, okay, huge. I'm not talking like an 8 by, 12 or 8 by 16. I'm talking like 25 by 30. Taking a branch that he found in his yard, dipping it in black paint, hitting it up against the canvas once, and he sells it for $5,000. And he does this consistently. This is how he makes his money. I know. So when I say that money can come to you in the most ridiculous ways, it truly can. I mean, people are willing to pay for this. So we just have to find where your ridiculous thing is, right? And have you believe with everything in you. Know it. Not even just believe. Go one step further. Know it. Know that it can make money for you. And that there is where it comes, right? But we start with the fact that it has to be a physical, tangible thing, right? Now, some things are harder. If you're looking at your job to provide you with more money, okay, your physical, tangible job, a couple of things have to happen. One, you either have to work more, right? More money, more time, more money, okay? Or you have to be up for a promotion, right? So you have to figure out how much do you want to kiss butt? How much do you want to play the game, right? Or you have to figure out some way to diversify your job, okay? So whether that be getting a second job or having more stake in the company or finding a way to increase production, say like farmers, right? Farmers have to learn how to increase their yield so that they can actually sell more to earn more, right? So there's a whole mess of different things within the physical realm and we have to do, but I want to start there as ask yourself this question. I'm not going to have each of you answer it because it's personal, but I want you to ask yourself, where are your physical funnels to getting money, to having it come to you? Now, could you play the lottery? Yes, that is a physical funnel. But you also have to ask yourself a question. What are you willing to do to get it? Are you willing to play the lottery every single day until you win? Are you willing to go to work more and work a 10-hour day or a 12-hour day instead of an 8-hour day in order to earn more? Are you willing to be out in the fields for longer, right? That sort of thing. You have to ask yourself, what do you have physically? And what are you willing to do? If you're not willing to do the things that your particular funnel requires, you're not going to make more money. It doesn't matter how much I remove the blocks from you. Okay? The blocks energetically are simply going to allow you to feel passionate about what you've got to do. It's going to allow you to be inspired enough to do new things that might open up a more diverse way in which to earn or bring it in or call it in. And it's going to increase those that want to give you that. right? So for example, maybe your boss says, I want to give you this promotion, you've earned it, right? But then on top of that, you also have somebody from another company that's like, you know what, I want to pay you more than what they're wanting to promote you and pay you, right? Because now you believe that you deserve that. You deserve to go up higher. You deserve to have that bigger stake, right? So this is where the energy starts to play. But before we get into that, I want to do this little activity. Okay, and this is where you guys can actually talk to me a little bit and participate. You see a penny on the ground, what do you do? How do you feel about that penny? Do you? Like seriously?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. How good do you feel about
Feel real good.
it? Okay.
And sometimes I feel like it's a message.
Okay. What kind of message?
Doesn't matter how small it is. Still accept wherever it is.
Okay.
So that's how I listen.
Does the message or does the story ever go through your mind of this is nice, but I wish it was $10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Well, technically not.
Okay.
I gotta take that back.
Okay.
And only because on many occasions I have to count on the ground more than the dollar. I mean, the penny that I have to count for.
Sure.
Whether it be a quarter, $20, dollar, yeah. So
Okay.
it's just whatever it is, I'm grateful.
Great. How many of the rest of you can agree with that? Like when you see a penny, do you pick it up?
I was told to say, find a penny, pick it up, all the day you'll have good luck.
Yep.
Share it with the friend, your luck will never end. So it's
Okay.
always handy when my husband's there, so I can say, here. luck will never end."
But I did try to tell my daughter, it was dark out. I said, there's $20. She thought I was joking. I said, okay. I jumped out the car. When she seen that it was there, she's, oh, mom, let me get it. I tried to tell you. But obviously it was meant for me. So I just went ahead and accepted. But I still ended up slipping.
Of course, of course. What about the rest of you? Anybody else like have a similar thought or is it completely different?
So at work, I put a 20 by the time clock, and because I was a manager, I put a note on it and put it in the manager's office, someone else before me. So had it been like anywhere else except work,
Yeah.
I would have followed it.
Okay.
So it's just like you get that responsibility when you become manager at a place where
Yeah.
you're like. And then when we worked at gas stations, things like that, if you don't have money on the ground, you take for the little kid to show up that it belongs to.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's kind of like a gray zone, like it's somewhere in there where your morals kind of stop you from taking what was smart.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So when you do find, let's say, a penny or a quarter or 10 or whatever on the street and it's not like manager taking over, I'm like, how do you feel about it? Good? Okay. Anybody else feel bad about it or are like, oh,
There is that saying, heads up, good luck, tails up is not. So.
I heard that.
okay. I'm gonna pick that.
Okay,
Okay.
heads up, good luck, and then if it was tails up, don't pick it up.
Okay.
So it was a little rhyme I learned as a kid and St. Cloud, I don't shoot on it.
Have you left money on the ground because it has been tails up?
No,
No. Who hasn't spoken, do you feel a different way when you see money on the ground? You might still pick it up, you may still pocket it, but do you feel anything else other than, oh, yay me, I just made money today?
Sometimes I think it's like a message, especially if I've asked for a sign,
Okay.
and that can sometimes be a sign. So then I do accept it because it just kind of helps solidify or whatever, like, okay, I'm on the right path. I should keep doing this.
Gotcha, okay. So more as not a, ooh, yay me, but more like, yes, my path is correct.
Yes.
Okay, got it. How do you guys? Okay.
Yeah, and I did the rhyme and handed to him.
One penny closer with those dollars.
Good, good, good. Okay.
Yeah, I can pick up a pen and go, oh, magic.
Yeah.
So I was magic.
Sure. Okay. So I love this because I would say everybody kind of has that same thing. And the reason why I know that, one, is because y'all are here. And yes, you're grateful for it, but ultimately what is in there is it's not 100, you know, it's not. But the other thing that also exists in there is if it had been 100, you would have been like, ooh, do I deserve this though? Like, who do I need to like? The manager kind of takes over, the internal manager takes over. You're like, this is more than a 20. You're like, damn, like, can I have this? I don't know. Somebody just walked by, maybe it was theirs. I don't, sir. Or like, God, man, I'll take it if it's dark and there's nobody around. But it's still this internal, like, I don't really know that this is mine. And this is something that absolutely has to be removed. Like you have to, number one, know in your bones, you are a magnet for money. You are a magnet. It wants to find you. It wants to come to you. People want to throw it at you. They actually do. They enjoy it. They enjoy handing you money, right? Now, this is a hard one because we have spent our entire lives more than likely being told that if you haven't earned it, you don't deserve it. Okay. For some of us, that hits a little closer to home than for others. So have grace with yourselves. I will be honest right now, that is me all day long. I have been told I have to be twice as good to get half as much my entire life. And if I don't earn it, then I don't deserve it and it wasn't meant for me. That is something that I have had to unlearn, reprogram very deeply. And to then go out into the world and actually play the game of money. Okay. I know, it's hard, right? It is something that it's difficult to have to go out. I will tell you, I just came back just 2 days ago from a trip to Tahiti, and we went to the little island off of Tahiti called Moray, and it's in the shape of a heart. And I got to swim with the whales, like legit touch the whales, swim with them. But what I also saw there was a bunch of really nice yachts in every single bay. And the game that I played was, who is the person that owns that? And what I challenged myself was to not make them an oil tycoon, to not make them a real estate exec who sells $1 million, $2 million, $5 million properties. I challenged myself to think it's the person who, I don't know, sells pictures of feet on OnlyFans. On YouTube who's making money. Yes. It is being made in ways you guys have never even thought to make it. And it's being made in the millions. And so some of those yachts, yeah, belong to those things that we already assume, right? The Fortune 500 CEOs and CFOs and COOs, and yes, they're the oil tycoons, and yes, they're the rich Russians that, you know, have access to the government and all that stuff. But a large portion of those yachts also belong to those people who are artists, who are inventors, who are patent makers or owners, people who are doing something creative in their life. They're healers. They are manual laborers. They are retirees, right? You just have to expand your mind to think beyond what society has tried to program into you. So one of the things that we're going to do through our meditation is we're gonna ask ourselves some deep questions. You do not have to like voice them. In fact, I don't want you to. Not because I believe that secrecy is key, but because I want you to feel safe, to be honest with yourselves, to truly get into what are the stories that you were told by your parents about money. What is it that you still now at your current age believe is true about them? And what is it that you would rather believe? What would you rather believe about money than some of the trash that I know exists inside of us? Right? What would you rather believe? So think about your life and where you're at. And I want you to think about how you could make money. I want you to think about, do you believe that with what you have, you can make more than you've ever made in this month, the end of this month, in the next week and a half, right? That's left of this month than you have ever made before. Now, this is just a stepping stone, and I'm not saying that this is, what you're going to take away, but I want you to start thinking fantastically about money. Okay? I need you to start doing that if you want to make leaps in removing those blocks, because those blocks don't get removed by me walking you through and saying, okay, let's pull apart this tiny thread and let's pull apart this tiny thread. No, we're going to smack through these mothers and say, let's blow them out of the water. Let's blow them out. Let's break it. Let's act like they're a kidney stone and the doctor is like pulverizing it with a blast of electricity, okay, or a sound pulse. Let's pulverize it so that you can then make room inside of yourself for something so much better. And then we're going to talk about how to do that and how we're going to start doing it. We're going to 10x everything that you guys are thinking, okay? So let's all just close our eyes. Let's take a couple of deep breaths in. Just take a regular breath in. And really get centered into your heart space. Maybe you put your hands on your heart. Maybe you just rest your palms up and just ask to receive. And I want you to bring your awareness to your heart. I want you to feel your chest. I want you to actually feel the energy, the emotions that are existing in your chest right now. Maybe for some of you, it's pressure. Ask yourself, is this pressure excitement? Is it apprehension? Is it fear? Is it shame? Breathe in deeply. Be honest about how you're feeling right now, about everything you just heard. So for some of you, it may be this girl's talking BS. For others, it may be, I really want to get to this place where everything just feels okay, better than okay, best, better, excellent, extravagant, luxurious. I want to get to this place where I can believe everything she's saying, and better yet, know it. Feel into that and ask yourself if what you're feeling right now, does it serve you? Does it serve you to feel what you're feeling right now? If the answer is no, I want you to actively imagine you taking out what you're feeling. I want you to look at it. You're not going to sit and say that you are stupid for feeling this. We are not going to sit and say that you are dumb or you could be better. What you're going to do is you're going to honor what you're feeling right now. And if you're feeling good, if you're really liking this, you're really saying this feeling serves me, I want you to take it out, I want you to look at it, and I want you to also honor that. Honor what you're feeling. And then I want you to ask a question of yourself silently. Where is this feeling coming from? If it's positive, where is that positivity coming from? Where is that expansion coming from? It's coming from excitement about the future, excitement about what you are going to be able to do moving forward. It's more contracted, it's more negative. Ask yourself, does this stem from something that I was told when I was a kid? Does this stem from something that I've told myself? Something I have learned in my life? And once you've found that answer, I want you to allow for yourself to shift the feeling if it's called for. So if you're no longer feeling something negative or contracted, you might feel like you can move it forward into something more positive. If you're already feeling positive, I want you to see how you can expand that feeling. Okay, I want you to focus on that for a few minutes. I walk around. Just kind of help you out. Breathing nice and deep. Deep breaths in, everybody. Take another deep breath in. Feel how you're feeling. Slowly come back. With your eyes. Everybody okay? So everybody had something different that they're working through. I just want to open up the circle for sharing if you feel like it. It's not necessary, but if anybody does want to share, please feel free. She's getting tissues. I know that's what she's getting.
I know.
For me, money has always, um, for me, money has always been this thing that has sat in my solar plexus. It has been, yeah. It sits in my solar plexus because it is I never want to be greedy. Okay. I never want to take from people who couldn't afford to give it to me. So I always start thinking about other people, like other people's pocketbooks. I'm not in charge of their bills. I don't know why I do that. Probably because I had a mom that was always very giving. I had a grandmother that taught her well. And also that idea of having to work hard. I needed to work hard. So I pushed myself. I did the equivalent of killing myself. I double majored, double minored. I went back to school and got a third major. I then opened my own business and I've been running that for the last 3 years while I still work as a nurse. I mean, there's a whole mess that has lived in my solar plexus of I just need to be good enough. I'm just good enough. I know enough. If I've trained hard enough, then I'll be worthy of the multi-millions. It took a long time to get to a point where that wasn't living in me anymore. So I just want everybody to know that if you're still feeling like you still got some work to do, no worries. I needed one more session too, right? But what I also want you guys to think about is whether or not you were in this moment able to move some of those feelings into more positive. If you weren't already feeling positive, were you able to move it forward? And if you weren't, wondering why, like, is it just because you need just one more session, or is it because there's something so deep seated that it's going to take a little bit more than just one session, right? It's going to take talking about it. It's going to take journaling about it. It's going to take being radically honest with yourself, right? In a way that's like hard and ugly and tears and all of that, right? Nobody wanted to share right now, so that's okay. But if you want to share, sure.
I've been working on this for a long time, so I know where you guys are starting. Mine today was, I had a meeting with her earlier, and I have a fear of success. And this kind of showed a little more of that, where it was a fear about shining anyone else. And that's my family. My dad works hard and is in debt always. So it doesn't matter how much he works, he always is in debt. And same way, starving artists. We were raised up starving artists, and there was like a fight to that, but I don't think we're allowed to how we should do them in this. Like this is who we are and where we came from. So how do we scrape out of there? So that's the starting point. I've done a lot of work on it. I'm feeling that felt really good. I felt something move. So that's good. But yes, you can work and work and work and work. No matter what you do, there's not that reward. And same thing. not getting paid as much as the guy before you. I mean, oh, yeah, like, just so much evidence to the contrary. I also, we don't have a great, like you were illustrating at the start, we don't have a great view of rich people. Those are the, oh, I mean, we have all these examples of you, like how unhumanitarian and unkind and unfeeling all these people are that we have examples of. And it's like, okay, so how do I be that rich person without being that icky? So I'm like, I'm gonna be like Abigail. My new goal. And it was great because I shifted from being like, okay, well, I don't want to outshine anyone to no, I want to shine as bright as I can and bring everyone up. Like I could be the example that people want to come up to. And that felt way better.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. That's how. Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been doing this for a long. And so this is really good. Yeah, she got tears on her eyes, but they haven't happened for a long time. And I think I have a puddle under my chair too, that's probably much. But I like this part of releasing the past where it is in my body. And so even just to say this, like, so I started going body parts, like my shoulders. I'm not strong enough. I said that all the time. And not strong enough has so many connotations to go with it. And the voice, because you heard that earlier, so you knew everything was going to come out because everything does. So not good enough to speak. And then the root chakra being adopted. And my God, you guys, I'm going to go be my bio dad who has, 7 years ago, we found out even existed and wouldn't meet me. So the intensity of just that, the intensity of the abandonment to begin with, then to find them and get rejected again, then to set a meeting in December with my sister who set it up, my half sister, I just met her in December, and then he didn't show up. And now to do this again. So you got that. So that's why I started to cry. I was like, oh my God, no wonder it's sitting right there. No wonder I feel like extra fairy-ish. You know what I mean? Like you think of those types of things and you think you're keeping it all together and I wore black today because you weren't going to get put my power sheet on. That's what it was. I just want my flip flop. That really was good. Yeah. Now it's like, how do I keep it going?
We're gonna talk about
So like for me, she'll told us to like take out that in our chest. It was like apprehension, and then I have wall around me. So I was like, in my imagination, I was pulling down the wall because I grew up very poor. My mother's single disabled woman with 5 kids living off of bare minimum of child support. So I grew up starting to spend every single thing. I grew up at times we didn't have power, at times we didn't have food, and all these things. So it's like when I finally had more money, like I have more money than I ever had in my life, I'm still struggling because I try to like try to do more than I should do with that money that I have. And in a little while after trying to get rid of the wall, I realized I didn't have to get rid of what was around me. I had to shine from within. So and that's fun.
So good question on how do you keep it going, right? How do you take what you've done here with the work that you started and take it to the next space? So I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna ask everybody what your like ultimate idea of like wealth, abundance, money coming in. It doesn't have to necessarily be an amount, but I want you to kind of create a little bit of a picture. So for those who are coupled today, feel free to like, you know, like kind of rip off of each other if you guys are like, oh no, like we're together on this. Like I like want this. If you want, if you're like, oh, we've been talking about this, I know exactly what we want. Free to riff if you're like, yeah, I agree with that, but actually, I want this, this, and this as well. Feel free to do that too. It can be separate, it can be together, it's no big deal. So why don't we start with you guys? That's much freedom time.
Yeah, for the most part, it's. I'm in real estate, so, I don't know what the offer is. Like I in real estate. Restaurant. Even more. I don't necessarily work any less hours now, but my phone doesn't ring at 4 o'clock in the morning with, bar closing with something wrong, but, so just freedom and the time to spend. On it instead of.
Okay, so let's 10x this. So when you say time, what does that actually look like? What would you want to do with your time? Or do you just want like days off where you can just like sit at home?
You would sit at home.
Yeah? Okay, hobby farm? We're getting there.
Or more of a fun farm. But yeah, I would like to sit in the time.
Okay. Do you have a boat? Or a
Got a
pontoon?
pontoon up there,
Okay, do you like it?
but I'm not having to work at all the projects that my dad has going on up there, yes.
Do you want something different? Like a different, better pontoon?
No,
A
pontoon's
boat?
brand new,
You
brand
like
new,
it? Okay,
brand new,
okay.
so.
Would
Get
you?
that silver. Hold on, sir.
I'll hold on to her.
Okay, go down the river, okay? So time where you can boat, have a hobby farm. Do you want anybody to go with you on this vision?
Just us.
Just you guys,
And then,
okay,
you know, obviously friends, family. To hang out with, so.
okay,
It's time that doesn't. Always.
okay. So this is what I'm talking about 10xing a vision, okay? So we like to give like what we think of as an actual like grand answer. I want more time, okay? But what goes into that, okay? I want you all to kind of think about this. So I'm going to use myself as an example because I just did this recently and somebody was just downloading the whole time. But I was talking to a newly made friend about it, and I said, you know what? I want one of those yachts, but you know what? I want it to be blue and sparkly. And you know what? I want to be able to gift my friend every month or every 2 months. I want to gift a different friend every month with 2 weeks paid, all expenses paid. I will buy their ticket to wherever we're going. I will pay for all of their expenses. I will give them money so that they can not work for the 2 weeks to a month. So that they don't have to worry about their lights getting shut off, their heat being shut off. They can take FMLA at work so that they won't have to worry about losing their job if they don't have PTO. But I take care of everything. I get them there, I feed them, I drink them. Whatever they want to drink, I deal with their diet. So I've got a lot of vegan vegetarian friends. I know it's weird, but it's a thing now, I guess. But I will make sure that they have all the things they need. They don't have to worry for nothing, for 2 to 4 weeks. And I still have money rolling in. And I get to sit on that beach with them, or I get to ski on those Alps with them, or I get to eat at that French cafe with them, or I get to play with them at their hobby farm, right? Do you see how it's massively different, right? Like, and that's not saying that you have to want people there, but I want you to take what you two have together, right? That leisure time together. What does that look like? Saying, I want to boat on the river. Where do you want that boat to go? Right? Do you want to drink champagne every night? Right. Or do you not, right? And probably not. Maybe it's beer, maybe it's water, but maybe it's the nice Perrier water. Right? 10xing your vision doesn't have to look like you are Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or Donald Trump. Right? It doesn't have to look like that, but take whatever it is that you're thinking and ask yourself, what is the next step up from that, but still fits me? Because not everybody is going to want that boat on the river, right? So what about you? What is your 10x?
Gosh, having to worry about money ever. And being able to go on trips so that I can visit my friend Joe. Or if I'm there, visit here on a regular basis. I just want to be able to live more freely. Not have to restrain like the things that I think would benefit me to get ahead. And so it's like you pick this, like you have this idea in your head that, well, if I spend this money here, it's not going to benefit me down the road. You said I still have it. I'd like that money to put it here, benefits me.
So think about this. When you say you want to not worry about money ever, realize that there are levels to this. Okay, you can have enough money for your bills, right? And for food and for gas. And truly, if you had that, you'd never have to worry about money again, right? Because all of the quote necessities are taken care of, right? But that is going to look very different than you being able to say, okay, I can pay all my bills. Don't have to worry about my house. I own my shit. Sorry guys, I just swear. I own my stuff, right? I own my car, I own my house, I own maybe even the land that I live on. Huge, right? If you don't have to worry about that, huge, right? Now taking that one step further and saying, now I know that I don't have to worry about any of that. That's all set. I got enough money coming in for that, but now I have enough money where I can do that. And I can go and buy 50 books at Barnes and Noble and just sit and read them all day. Right?
Right.
And still, I can do that and I can eat out 3 times a week if I want to. Nice restaurant, not just Perkins.
Right.
Like, Applebee's. Do you see a difference in like yours and then like us 10xing them, right? We still stay in your playground, but we get more specific,
Okay.
right? I want you to get more specific. When you say that you want to never have to worry about money again, what does that truly look like? Right?
I own my car. I own whatever I'm living in, even if it's a condo.
Amen.
I am able to like invest in land so that I have, what do you call that?
Like intergenerational wealth, something to pass on.
No, I'm not gonna have kids.
Okay. That's
Like that. Alternative income.
Yes,
Yeah, there we go, passive income. So I'd like to have passive income. I like to work because I get really, really bored. I've been on disability. I've been at home a lot. I don't want to be there. So. It looks like. I want to be like. A successful like, American, living my American dream.
Not too far. Might pick a fence.
So, 20 cats, a library, and a whole yard living room instead of just a young person.
I'd like to live in a larger house than I have now. It's too small for what I want, on water, own our cars, have money to do some traveling. I still want to do the intuitive work, but I don't want to. I want it to feel good. I want David not to have an outside job, so he can work on all the projects that I want to see him do. And one of the things that I did realize is when I feel like I'm rich, flush, I'm also able to help others. And that's really important to me to not only look at just what I wanted, but there's that ability to help others. And you talked about, do you go to Applebee's or do you go to whatever? My grandson's coming into town, and that really triggers something is now, he's coming into town, we're just gonna save for dinner one evening, and his fiance. And it's like, I'd like to go out to dinner, but where do we go? Oh, let's look at the menus, let's look at the prices. I don't want that. I need to want to go out to eat.
Some these are some places nice.
A lot nicer.
A lot nicer.
I got these too, but a lot nicer than this.
I hear you. I hear you.
Do you want to keep working or what?
No, I don't. I just realized, I guess, since I was young, your dad goes to work and comes back and their energy is spent, I don't like that. I would like, for that to be completed at the end of the day. And I think I'd like a flow of money. I don't mind my money going out as long as I have enough coming in. I'm quite willing to share to have a flow going out, but I would like a better flow. But that
Big river.
Trickle through, yeah. Yeah. I like this. So what I would say with that is, do you have some sort of an idea of how you would like your river to be flowing? So do you want your river to be in investments? Do you want it to be in land? Do you want it to be in some hobby that you sell for an exorbitant price that somebody will pays for?
I guess that's $1 million question, right?
It is. Literally, actually, probably $1 million. You don't want to bring her.
Right. That's the point. I don't see that.
And that's okay. So take that, everybody, too, that if you are thinking about this and we're talking about this, and you're like, you know what, I really don't know. That's okay. There's literally nothing wrong with not knowing right now. This is just the start of your journey right now of this. But I hope that you use it and you take it and you go away and you guys talk about it. And you say, you know what, is the funnel that I would really like this to go through? Is it something that we could do? Is it something that we could take a step towards? Right? Who knows? We won't put any limits on anything right now. But it's a good thing to ask, because if it's something that's doable, right? And y'all just aren't doing it, you guys could have it. And you could have it right now. Right? So if there is something that you guys have been thinking about playing with, just need a little bit more of information and need to go to Barnes & Noble and buy the X for Dummies book to learn how to do it, go do it, invest in it. Because that $20, you could end up making 2 million, 3 million, and then your dream is right there. And it's no longer a dream anymore, it's your reality. right? So sometimes all we need is just a little bit more info and a $20 investment, right? It's a little bit more secure than playing the lottery, but you know. How about you?
Well, I can see it. I started the website. I can see the consulting business. I have the partners. I can feel it happening. I have, like I was telling you, I got voices for content. I have content. I have a fear of hiring a coach that I have to figure out what it is that is so resistant. Doesn't mean that I'd actually like get that company, and then I could quit the job with the people that I just, I don't like the job. It wasn't one that I picked. I got stuck in it. So, and I'm blessed to have been stuck in it and not without a job. So it's not that I'm not appreciative of, having it, but it's not one I would have picked. And so it can hold me as I build this other, but there's just this kind of like fear because I can see it, I can smell it. It's a big company. It's going to go there, but I just can't get to it.
So one, ask yourself, are you showing up as the person that you want to be when your dream becomes reality? Okay. So think about the person that has everything that you're talking about. Think about that individual. What do they eat for breakfast? What do they do for their morning routine? What are they doing for the business, right? How are they showing up? Social media or, podcasts or whatever, right? How are they, what is their like free time look like? How often do they have that, if they have it? And I want you to start asking yourself, is this individual, this person who has to be this way in order to have this dream? One, are you willing to be that person? One, because that's the first step. Like if you're not willing to be that person, because if you're like, dude, I know that I'm gonna have to work 7 days a week for the first year in order to be able to work 2 days a week for the next 10. But I'm not willing to work 7 days a week in order to make those next 10 years happen. Then something has to change, right? Because that person that you're thinking about, you can't just say, well, no, even though this is the person that I know needs to be there, and as an intuitive, you can't really lie to yourself about it. You can look and you can feel into that energy and you can say, I know exactly what this person needs to be. But if you go and you make a concession where you're like, you know what? I bet I can change this. I bet I don't have to do 7 days a week. I bet I can only do 6 and it'll be fun. Right? I guarantee you, your intuition wasn't lying when they put this image of this person in front of you. And to like 10x that is legitimately you saying, okay, this is where I am right now. This is the 10x version. This is who I have to be in order to get what it is I want. I'll use myself as an example. I'm a very devoted auntie to a very beautiful and cute little boy. Okay. Little face just makes me want to like do everything for him. He has a mother who is not there. My brother is his father. He works during the day. This man needs daycare. So what did I do for the first almost 2 years of his life? I put him first. A growing business, but I put him first. What happened? My business, which was doing very well, didn't do any better than well because I sat and said, I know exactly what the image of the person who has a multi-million-dollar medical intuitive healing business, I know what she looks like. I know exactly what she does. I know exactly how she moves. I know exactly what the things she's thinking about and how she's rolling. I know exactly what she's posting. I know exactly how often she's posting. I know how she's showing up in her life, in groups, right? I know what it is she dresses like. I know how she does her hair. I know what she smells like. And I said, but he needs me. He needs me. And when he's 5, he's going to ask me, where was Auntie for the first 5 years of my life? And I said, I could do this better. I know exactly who this person is who has this multi-million-dollar company, but I think I can do this better. I know better than what my intuition and what the universe is telling me that this person looks like. All because I sat here and used my beautiful nephew as an excuse, thinking that I could one up the universe. Doesn't work like that. So what do I do now? I let grandma be the primary nanny. And I take him when I know that I can. Because yeah, he lives with me, but I'm telling you, like I came back, I went on vacation, I had to work real hard every single day to be like, no, I deserve to be here. It's not, it's okay, he's not here, it's okay, I'm not taking care of him. It's not my job. I'm auntie. I get to be auntie. So I get to go away for 2 weeks and I get to do this and I get to have this amazing experience. And I came home and I said, Mom, Auntie gets to be auntie for a day because my week of work doesn't start until today when I had a full slot of clients and I had this and I had a class that I'm taught today and I had a consulting client that I work with. I work with a fertility health coach and I consult with her clients. All of which I booked while I was on vacation about a day before. Because I sat and said, you know what? I'm changing everything. I am no longer willing to sit and wait another year or 5 for me to be able to have my 10x vision of what I want my business to be. And I know, because I know exactly what that person needs to be, I'm no longer going to use my nephew as an excuse. He doesn't need auntie to be mom. He needs auntie to be auntie, because if I want to be able to have as much time as I want with him, I need to make this work. So I need to actually do what the universe is asking me to do. And I need to step into that and I need to show up for it in all the ways. So I would challenge you to really look at that. But I also, before you leave, I want to give you access to a free group that I'm currently a part of. Somebody who I love, I have invested in her before. She is a coach, but right now she's got a free Telegram that's just a broadcasting channel. Every Monday she posts something in it. If this sounds like important for anybody else, please let me know. I'll give you access to it. It's free. And I think it will help you. Okay. It'll help you kind of move into what it is that you're looking for. Okay. But I mean, she's a business coach, but if you need validation, if you need somebody to aspire to, she's kind of it. And so I would be willing to like give this information to anybody, but I know it will work for sure. So I want to do that. Okay. Ellie, what's your 10x? Also, before you say it, if anybody needs to leave, because I know we're probably over time. So if anybody needs to leave, certainly can. But after these 2 shares, I do have one other thing, and then it will work. I'm totally calling it quits. No, your 10x.
So about a year ago, I was kind of paying. When I get a lot of money with it. And it's evolved like more than stuff. In the last year, it evolved. You go reach managers, very good. There's a whole list of friends that really want to get some money to because they just need it. There's the babies that I know need nannies, especially nannies. And it was interesting to see how that got expanded as the year went through, and I'd see something that I could maybe possibly someday be able to help with. And put them on my list, and think about Like, this would be really cool to be able to help them get their dreams come true too. And then I also came up with a few things in my house, like I really would like some new living improvements. I love the ones I want new ones exactly like what I've got, it's just different for odds, but they're falling apart. They've been there for at least 12 years. Getting there. I want the simple covered. So there's a few things like you might fit into. And I want a soccer coach.
Soccer coach.
Personal soccer coach.
I love it. I was gonna ask you, I was like, cause this is the other thing too. When we start talking about money, we start feeling once again like we're being rude. Like we're asking for too much, and we start then looking to who can we like expand out to. Always, always remember that you come first. Okay, you come first, and there's nothing wrong with that, ever. Right? So, once again, asking yourself, like, what kind of vacations, right? Like, where is it that you want to go? Being specific. What is it that you want to do on those vacations? Because all of those things are going to cost you something, right? Eventually, when we get real rich and famous or just rich, the thing that money provides us is not necessarily things per se. It gets us things, yes, but what it really truly gets us is access into the room, access to the table, access to the person, right? So you may not be the one that ends up getting something. It might be that the money that you have gets you access to somebody who can give it to you, right? And eventually, what money really does is start making it so you don't have to pay for anything. What we do know about people who are rich is that they tend to pay for a lot, yes, but they tend to also be gifted a lot, right? So understand that that's like the next level to your already 10x thinking. Is that eventually you become a person where you reach out to Frigid Air and say, I really like your brand new fridge that I tap on it and it like goes clear and I can see all my food inside of it without actually having to open the door. And that you just one day are able to call up Frigid Air and be like, hey, I really like that. I really like that. Is there any way I can get it? And they're like, oh, let's give it to you. Give it to you, right? You have the money to pay for it, but because money flows to you, so too do other things. So this is the last thing that I'm going to teach you. And it's how do you get money to go to and become that, like you being the magnet, okay? It's quite simple. You utilize your chakras to do it, okay? The idea being that the idea, right? We've all been talking about our ideas for things, our 10x vision, right? That is like a divine inspiration. It's coming in through our crown, which then goes into our third eye to where you give it a vision. This is where when everybody was talking, then I said, okay, now move that divine thought down into where you can see it. I want it to be so clear to you that you can taste it, smell it, feel it, all of that, right? It should be something that you can very clearly recognize. Then you move it down into your throat. This is why it's so important to talk about what you want, to play with it off of your partners, off of your friends, off of the people that you trust. Speak power to it. Because through that speech, you are telling the universe that vibration of what it is that you want. And the more specific you got with your third eye, the more power you give it through your voice. Then you move it into your heart. This is where you give it your love. This is where you end up really, truly like feeling all of the passion for it and the self-love that you can possibly give it. Okay. So if we're talking about money, right? $10,000 divine, maybe even 20. I love 20. 20 would be great. I can see it. It's coming in through my consultant business. It's coming in through my promotion. It's coming in through some random ticket I bought at the lottery. And I can see it. I can smell it. I know exactly the numbers that it's going to be on that ticket, right? And I'm saying it, I'm going to win the lottery, or I'm going to call in a number of clients, 20 clients who are going to pay me $1,000 to do this work. That's 20,000 right there, right? Bringing that out into the world, moving into my heart. I feel like I deserve this. I know that I get to have this. I get to have this. It is meant for me. And I love that I get to have this. I get to have this 20,000. Move it into your solar plexus and give it your will. Everything you have, make yourself feel it like a gut punch, right? Know that you are worthy of it. Not just that you desire it or deserve it, but know in your gut that it is coming to you. See it coming to you. Feel the pull of it coming to you. And then birth it through your safe room. That is your creative birthing center. And even if you're a man, you have one, right? So birth it out into your root where you are practical about it. You take the next step. If you want to have more clients, promote yourself. Go on a podcast, get into your social media, put out flyers, right? You want to have more hobby animals in your farm? Go to your local shelter. See which one. Right? Like, take that next step that will get you. You might not go to that shelter and immediately buy the next hamster, you see, but at least you've gone there and you've shown that you're willing to bring something home today, right? If it was at the right price and it was the right animal and all those things, right? Right? For that 20,000, I'm going out and I'm going to make sure I promote myself. I'm here with all of you. If you all want to give me $1,000, I love you. Like that is the motion. And every day, you do this. You think about it, you get the divine inspiration, you see it, you speak it, you feel it, you give it that punch of power, right? That divine ambition that says that you deserve it and you can have it. Think about the next step and birth it into action and do the next thing. And I promise you, you do this. You do this, you take this into your life, you work on those stories and those narratives that we were working on with that feeling during that meditation, and you rewrite those things that don't serve you anymore, you'll get what you want. And you'll get it faster than you have. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know that I'm over time. If you guys have any questions, I'm here, but I'm free you to go and make money. Go show me how much you can make and more. Okay. Thank you.